Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 7 All-Winner Season.
Episode 3.
Season 7. I said 14. Season 7, Episode 3.
The Realness of Fortune Ball. It's funny.
I was like, those words. I know those words, but that doesn't make any sense.
It works.
We are on a tight schedule, so I'm just going to go down and read my notes. And if you have things to say, chime in, and then we're going to do looks.
Yeah, like story-wise, this week, it was also pretty thin anyway, because it was a ball, so they like don't have like a... I am loving this.
It.
Yeah.
We loved All-Stars 6.
Yeah.
And I'm loving this just as much, if not more. The 8 queens, starting with 8 queens, is so nice because I don't feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then keeping them is so nice because we get actual, a drawn out story, like a sense of, like a sense of community, like a sense of something happening. So just
as a quick FYI, last week's Snatch Game, I think, might be the highest rated episode in Drag Race history. 9.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
It is.
Just for funsies.
They did that, and especially Jinx.
Jinx, yeah.
But this is the kind of, when they talk about strategy and we're good, fair, like pretty fair sports.
Yeah.
And I understand that sometimes someone's going to get screwed over, their feelings hurt. But so far, this is the kind of strategy that I love. That stunt that Shay pulled coming into the workroom about the plunger was gold.
So funny.
And I
found out the truth about the platinum plunger, and it's just like, she's like, I'm making it up. Well,
because for a second she was like, Trinity almost got it, but it didn't. And for a second I was like, no, pull Trinity in, because just what little I know about Trinity, she'll go with it, which she did. Mm-hmm. And that was so funny that Trinity literally got up and was like, and they were genuinely, the other queens were like, what? So, and I think it was Monet was like, you're making this up, and Jada was like, no, and she was like, maybe. Like, I don't. It was so funny. It's that sort of thing, those sort of little mind games, and the way that they're doing this whole alliance thing, which, for starters, I love it. But there's only 8 players. You can't
just keep pulling everybody in. Because then you're just going to be in an alliance with everybody. Someone has to get the plunger every week. It's better if you just allow it to all be in good fun.
If it just keeps going to one person or 2 people, that's mean. Yeah. Like, and I truly loved Jinx's reaction and her reasoning, especially when she was like, if I'm trying to play a group game, I won't be thinking about myself.
Right.
And doing what I think is ultimately.
Yeah.
Because there are elements of strategy to these things, but I think more often than not, your best bet is straightforward. Your best bet is doing the best you possibly can. And
well, because that's the other thing too is Raja and Trinity, I think, were talking about it, and Jada, or maybe it was Monet and Trinity were talking about it, and Raja came up. Jada came up. I'm having because they're also, a ton of them have names that other drag queens have, and so I'm like having a really hard time. Regardless, Jada came up and was like, oh, I guess I never really thought of it. And the one of them was like, it's a strategy game. And I was like, only if you make it one. Like,
it was Shay and Jada and Trinity.
And Jada, okay.
And I do want to go back and watch her stuff now.
Yeah.
I think I said in our first episode that I knew of her legacy, but she intimidated me because she's so
like
cunt.
Yeah.
And she's a lot warmer and a lot more.
Well, she also, the face looks a lot like Billy Porter out of drag. And so that's where I'm getting like a comforting notion.
Well, it's like she's gorgeous and he's hot. Yeah. And it's like.
And that you were right. You said something about her skin in this one. It's like
it's so warm,
luminous.
Yeah, it's so warm.
She must have such a red undertone.
Yeah,
it's like absolutely stunning.
Oh God! And another one that I am leaving. That I'm honest. I swear to God, I'm loving all of them.
Yeah.
But Raja, I think she's going under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, she definitely. What was well, we'll get to the looks in a second, but yeah, no, I am loving Raja, and
she's great. I agree. I like her a lot.
Even just her vibe, when they were doing the sewing, the 2 glasses of wine, and then a blunt and 2 bottles of wine, and the way, like, I love her style. I love her energy. I am loving all of this. Jinx was so funny trying to. For someone with such a shtick, there's no artifice there.
Well, there's no artifice, but I was even going to say for someone that's like presumably so successful and like has won before, I literally can't believe she can't sew. Again, it's because she's also the only one in this crop that can't sew.
She's also so plussed about it. She's just like, well, this is my weakness.
Figure it out.
And I loved Trinity, because Trinity is another one that for whatever reason, I was thinking she was going to be bitchier. And so far, she's not been. Yeah. And her just like, because she had that shit on fucking lock.
Her own shit. And then she came over to Jinx and was like, hey,
here's how to do this. Here, hide the seam.
Here's what we need to do in order to make this work, and it fucking worked.
So,
but that was, to me, that was like the main plot of this episode, is like the still more of the like
sisterhood.
No. I'm so tired already.
I was like, girl.
I know, we've got so much to do.
Give me other words.
The like spycraft of it all. Alliances. So it was like the alliances, and then Jinx can't sew. And that was basically it. I couldn't like.
This episode was really. We need to make it more purple. We had Kirby Howell-Baptiste as the guest judge.
So I remembered what she was on. She was on like basically 3 things at once, which was The Good Place and Barry and Killing Eve.
She was fantastic on The Good Place.
Yeah.
And she's on Why Women Kill on Paramount Plus, which I want to watch so bad. And we promised our dear friend Brittany that we would, and we just have not been able to.
We're so busy, y'all.
Let us know.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the wheel. I thought the wheel was so funny.
Yeah.
First and most importantly, we got Calix back.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
And Bryce.
Well, we've gotten Bruno, Calix, and Bryce this season.
Yeah.
And I think between those 3, if I had to pick my top 3, it would be Bruno, Calix, and Bryce.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to be more puzzled.
No, I get it.
If I had to pick 3 pit crew members out of those 3, those would be my 3.
Those are the 3 that I would pick as well.
They're all hot in a different way. I just but then they did the wheel, and I liked the sort of gimmick. Although the actual location didn't factor in really to the, because like, which the last thing they needed was another confinement. Like,
but they didn't have to do it like inspired by the place.
No.
It was like literally just the color.
That would although I would be interested in a challenge that is where it's like Jinx had to do France, like provincial France.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that would be really interesting. Also, the production riggery, I cannot believe they did that to Evie.
Oh,
that they gave her.
Yeah.
$1,500 and then took it away from her and gave it to Vivian. Yeah. That was so rude. That was so rude. I love Evie. I
agree with you.
I haven't even said.
No, you said it last week. I agree with you that I like her so much too, but I do think she's just over her head.
Just a hair.
Just
over her head.
Just over her head. Yeah.
So okay, let's go into the looks. New friends are silver and old friends are gold.
It's just sort of like mean to new friends. New friends are nice.
Silver's good.
I have 0 new friends.
Oh, Rue.
Oh my God.
Classic beauty. I said that when she came out, I was like, one of the things that I love so much about Rue is that she'll do like pretty weird, pretty avant-garde, pretty, classic, pretty, like it's mostly pretty, but then she keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. All right, so the first one was Vanna White Realness, and we got actual fucking Vanna White. Amazing.
She looks so good.
This bitch is 65 years old. Are you out of your mind?
I will say, I think having her there through the category just a smidge, because I think having her there angled it to be like a costume, like dress up as Vanna White, where I think they might have interpreted it as more of like an abstract Vanna White realness.
Oh, okay.
So
you mean the queens?
Yeah.
Well, the queens didn't know she was there till they walked down the road. Oh, okay.
And so I think having her there in real time, sort of slanted or sort of repositioned
to the 2 queens that I think Yeah, okay, fair
Like,
enough.
I think if she weren't there, like, Evie's might have been a little bit, like...
more palatable.
Because she was like, it's my take on it.
Yeah.
But when the person is looking at you and it's like, oh, you wouldn't wear this, it changes the category. Which the show loves to fucking do.
It does, yeah.
On their toes. This is nice, but I completely agree with Carson. It's giving me... old Hollywood, like, silent film movie star, their faces, every single one of them.
Literally every one of them reacts to her being there.
She's
so
such
funny.
a thing, just in cultural in general, but especially with, like, gay culture and especially, like, certain... Because it's Wheel of Fortune was a very, like, middle class thing.
I'm 36 and I don't remember not knowing who Vanna White is because that's how much we watched Wheel of Fortune. So it's like, she is definitely a cultural touchstone.
This is stunning, but I do agree. This is more couture.
Yeah.
And I don't know Vanna to be couture. I know her to be pageant.
Yeah. Her dresses are very pageanty. It's stunning, but it's not 100% Vanna.
Pale pink, too.
I love what Carson said about this, that it's like slutty Vanna White.
She just looks so fucking good.
She looks amazing. Monet looks amazing.
I just, I love her face. I love her white, her inner.
On the inside, yeah.
And
that wig is
body,
great too.
The waist, and she does snatch.
All right.
Okay, there are 3, in my opinion, that succeeded.
Yeah.
It is, and frankly, they're all a different era. This is year 2000 Vanna.
Yep.
Stunning.
And the wig is amazing too.
I could peg that as Vanna White.
Oh, sure.
If I wasn't prompted.
If someone was like, who does this look like to you? I'd be like, kind of like Vanna White. No, it's great. And I love that it's silver too. Number 2.
80s Vanna.
Amazing. It's like so
good.
Because she also half looks like she's coming off the set of Dynasty. It's like perfect.
So good. So, I do think I think that I'm going to come out of this season of huge. And also Evie was there.
I just like this, someone like Vanna White, I think, is not the moment to do an interpretation. And again, we were just talking about it in this episode again, too, where it's like, I just kind of want to see a fully glam look from Evie.
Not a ton, but I would love it if once or twice, if she did full glam, like Veronica Lake hair. Yeah. This is very good.
It's good. Yeah.
Period. I think it's very good.
It's not extremely Vanna White, but I also, the color's so good, the wig's so good, the velvet is really fun. I don't know.
It fits the prompt of Vanna White realness.
Yeah.
Now I don't know that I would be like, oh, clearly that's Vanna.
That's Vanna White. This is the other one. Fucking this bitch, Trinity. We're gonna come meet you at Island Time one week.
Also, I boffed it, is what I meant. Trinity's a stealth one that is really getting in there with me. I boffed it. I meant this was the 2000.
Okay.
Raja was 80s Vanna. This is 2000s Vanna. And Jada is current Vanna.
Now Vanna, okay.
That's how I would rank them. And probably in that order.
Yeah. Also, I just look at this and I'm like, Cara Buono, when did you get here? I can't stop. It's all I see.
Karen Wheeler from Stranger Things.
I love it.
But the dress, I love the dimension in the dress because there's iridescence in the sequins.
Yeah.
The wig,
it's great. It's so
perfect.
Great. Her Trinity's and Jada's were my favorite Vanna Whites.
Yeah.
100%. I liked Raja's a lot. It was just a different.
I think I would have to give it to Raja mostly because that's so akin to things we've seen Jada in that she
sure,
granted, I think Raja has probably done things like that, but it just sort of Jada in a pretty dress.
No. I get what you mean. I get it. Okay, this category is before and after. Whatever happened to Baby Jane Fonda is very funny.
This is the most literal interpretation. Some of them were more abstract than I was thinking.
This is very funny, though. That's all. It's funny, and it's good, and she looks great. The, white makeup around her face is so funny.
This one took me a minute to understand, because I was like, okay, a gold tooth fairy, and I was like, oh, the wrench and the watches and stuff. I was like, oh, she's repossessing gold teeth.
It's amazing.
Talk about telling a story.
Yeah.
It was an entire journey down that runway.
It's great.
I loved it. The safety pins, So I know Purse First is a Bob the drag queen thing.
Does he come out? all the time.
Well, Purse First is the name of the show that he does that we were watching.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm familiar, but it for my personal taste, I was like, this is good.
It's fine. Yeah, it's cute.
Gorgeous.
Unbelievable.
Also, this bitch would be like, I'm being a bag lady, and
this is it.
Full designer, like full.
I also
because Carson was like, I'm expecting like the woman from Home Alone, like
Jada, in my opinion, has been knocking it out of the park wig wise this season so far. I'm obsessed with all of these. The wigs.
Twizzler was such a good. Now, I do love this. I do, but I agree that it's just. I almost wonder if she had just had if it was John Waters from the head up. And then Olivia Newton-John from the...
Yeah, something a little bit more, for sure. But it was funny.
It's a good pun.
It's super funny. It's a great before and after.
This is good.
It's very good.
This was good.
This is, I think, where Evie shone the most in this episode was this one.
And I think she said she did all of this herself.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, I'm not really getting Cardi B. And then I was like, there it is.
There's the Cardi B. It's the tits and the box braids. Princess Diana Ross and that stupid ring. I love it. I like Vivian. I'm having such a bad time. I like Vivian a lot.
I loved this.
This is so funny.
Michelle was really hung up on the
but Charles. You know about King Charles, and it's like
Charles the second. And I was like, but that feels very Michelle to pick one thing to randomly be like hung up on. Because in my experience, it's risky to do RuPaul because Trixie boffed it royally, and even was it Milk with the nose?
So yeah.
Because that one I thought was great, and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's Milk with the nose? Yeah. Because he did like boy RuPaul.
Okay.
She turned this out.
It worked. And also, purple's my favorite. So
it is costumey.
Sure, but
yeah. And it's mostly the makeup and the mask.
Yeah.
Because it gives that like not only because she compares herself to a Greek goddess, but what this gives me is Greek theater.
Yeah.
And in that case, the costume element is warranted.
Correct, yeah. What the hell, man? This is beautiful. And I didn't even notice it until Kirby pointed it out, the head wrap. Mm-hmm. I just was like, oh, like a really cool veil, but it is like a full head wrap.
Well, boned corseting and like...
You bitch. Boned corseting in like one day.
Because the other one I really, really loved, we'll get to it in a second, but was Vivian's.
Yeah.
But even Vivian's, you could kind of tell that she only had a few hours to do it. Mm-hmm. Like one of the... And maybe it's the white of it all, but she had kind of a sloppy seam and not there.
Yeah.
I weirdly loved this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just her effervescence. Well, part of it's the wig.
Oh my God, this wig.
But even the cutouts, like and just her figure. Yep. She has such a figure that, because I'm obviously familiar with Monet and we were watching her on the pit stop, but she's sitting down.
Yeah. No, this is great. The like open side harem pants, it's like really fun. I think it's great.
All of them so far have been mixing the textures really well. Speaking of mixing the textures really well. What is this sleeve thing that all of the pageant queens seem to do?
It's working.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, really?
I hate it so much.
I think it's working here for sure.
Okay. Well, one of them said it was very volcanic, but Angeria did it a bunch. Yeah. I was gonna say she's one of the ones that actually kind of interpreted the location as well with the volcanic stuff and all that. I don't know. It gives me like Party City Mortal Kombat costume. Well, like those foam shoulder pads.
Sure. So it would make me feel very claustrophobic, and it would also make me think of like all of those times Nicole Kidman wore a one shoulder thing with like an enormous Dior flower or whatever that I hated on the red carpet.
I like that.
No. See, I hate that, and I'm kind of into this.
I love this though.
Yeah.
I love this, like...
This is great.
And she's not somehow swallowed up in it, by it.
I think
the way she molded it.
And I think the deep V worked too. And the wig is really fun. Yeah.
I don't think it's a wig.
Well, and the hair.
I mean, the bang is a piece, but she wears her own hair a lot. I think that's what's happening. I love this so much. Yeah. I was like, this gives me Athena. Like, this gives me goddess.
I see that.
This was prettier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I still stand by. I would like to see her do just a straightforward, unironic glamour look.
I would just love if there wasn't a fishnet stocking on her face.
Is that the bridge too far?
Yeah, because the rest of it I'm like fine with, because it was like pink sand beaches, or no, the pink city of Jaipur.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just I get the Evie thing, but it's like I don't always need that one extra weird thing.
Well, I can't stress enough how much I do love Evie, and I do not want her to change. But I think putting her up with these other queens, I think she's just doing something different that it's difficult to compare them.
Also, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't me telling her. I don't think she should change to be more like them. I'm just saying I think she is the odd man out in several ways, given this crop of fairly traditional queens.
I agree.
I love this.
Unbelievable.
It feels like it's, for me, I would have somehow found a way to drape a jewel or something across there.
Okay.
I think it needs. Or maybe even up to here. I don't know. I think it needs, because she did the jewel in the back, and I love that. But it's gorgeous. She said she doesn't wear this color. Why?
Yeah, you should.
Stunning.
Beautiful. Bitch. I don't.
She does look like such a slutty 90s, like a stripperella.
It's great.
Do you remember that Pamela Anderson cartoon?
Yeah.
Stripperella.
Well, it's also, again, like you said, she's mixing fabrics too, because it's like all of this like latexy stuff, but then she does have the necklace and then it's tulle underneath the skirt. It's great.
It breaks it up from being just a red riding crop. Girl, you made it, and you can't even.
No, it's great. And the wig is good too. Yeah.
And the butt.
It's amazing.
No, I loved.
Yeah. So for me, it was Trinity and Jada, and like Jinx was a close third because I just like Jinx.
I love Jinx. I think that she was fine to sit this one out a little bit.
Yeah, no, of course.
It ended up being Trinity and Jada, and they lip synced to Green Light Beyonce.
Yep.
That go, oh, made me miss Gorgeous with the punching the ghost.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted someone to punch the ghost.
Come on, Gorgeous.
But Trinity won.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
No, Jada won.
Jada won, and she gave the plunger to Jinx. And I agree. And it was great. This definitely isn't take two. And we don't have time to do a better take, because Stranger Things doesn't watch itself.
That's all you get.
So hopefully that was passable. Hopefully you watched and enjoyed it. Let us know if you did. Give us a like. The downvote button is broken, so if you don't like it, just like it.
You just have to
we'll
hit the thumbs up.
understand. Come back next week and or watch the myriad other videos at your disposal, and look out for Stranger Things.
It'll be coming out all weekend. Bye.
You're a winner, baby.